Right now, while you are watching this video, the global food system is breaking down in ways most people refuse to see. Store shelves that seem full today could be empty tomorrow. Food prices that shock you now will look like bargains in 6 months. Economic collapse is not coming, it is already here, creeping into your grocery bill every single week. When shortages hit your community, and they will, 90% of people will panic, but you will not be one of them. Because today, you are going to learn the only 5 survival foods that actually matter when the system fails. These are not trendy prepper items. These are the foods that have kept humanity alive through every famine, every war, and every collapse in history. And you need to start stockpiling them right now, before it is too late. Number 1. Dried beans. When meat disappears from the shelves or becomes so expensive that normal families cannot afford it, dried beans become your lifeline. Beans are the protein powerhouse that will keep your muscles strong, your body functioning, and your family fed when animal protein is impossible to find. A single pound of dried beans contains approximately 1,500 calories and over 100 grams of protein. That is more protein per dollar than almost any other food source on Earth. Pinto beans, black beans, navy beans, kidney beans, every variety offers massive nutrition for pennies per serving. But here's what makes beans truly extraordinary for survival. They last forever. When stored in a cool, dry place in sealed containers, dried beans remain edible indefinitely. Archaeologists have found 4,000-year-old beans that were still viable. The beans you buy today could feed your grandchildren. Beans are not just protein. They provide essential fiber that keeps your digestive system working, iron that prevents anemia, and minerals your body desperately needs during stress. When you combine beans with rice, you create a complete protein that matches the quality of meat. This is not theory. This is how billions of people have survived throughout history. During the Great Depression, beans saved families from starvation. During both World Wars, governments told citizens to eat more beans because meat was being rationed. In Venezuela's recent economic collapse, people who had stockpiled beans survived while their neighbors went hungry. Right now, fertilizer shortages and droughts are threatening bean crops worldwide. Transportation costs are driving prices up every month. The 50-pound bag of pinto beans that cost $40 today might cost $70 next year, if you can even find it. Beans require minimal storage space and no refrigeration. Closet can hold enough beans to feed your family for a year. Go buy beans in bulk right now while they are still affordable and available. Your future self will thank you when protein becomes a luxury most people cannot afford. Number 2. Cooking oil. Most people preparing for food shortages make one fatal mistake. They stockpile rice, beans, and canned goods, but they completely forget about cooking oil. When crisis comes, they discover too late that cooking oil is one of the first items to disappear and one of the hardest to replace. Here's the truth that could save your life. Fat is not optional. Your body needs dietary fat to absorb vitamins, produce hormones, maintain brain function, and stay warm. Fat provides 9 calories per gram, more than double what carbohydrates or protein provide. Without adequate fat in your diet, you will feel constantly hungry, lose dangerous amounts of weight, and your health will deteriorate rapidly even if you have plenty of rice and beans. Cooking oil is essential for preparing food. Try cooking beans or rice without any oil, and you will understand how difficult survival becomes. Oil prevents food from sticking, adds flavor to bland meals, and makes nutrition from vegetables more accessible to your body. For long-term storage, focus on oils with the longest shelf life. Coconut oil lasts 2 to 3 years and remains solid at room temperature, making it stable and versatile. Peanut oil stores well for about 2 years. Vegetable oil and canola oil last 1 to 2 years when kept in cool, dark conditions in sealed containers. The global cooking oil market is already in crisis. The war in Ukraine devastated sunflower oil production, which supplied nearly half the world's sunflower oil. Prices doubled and tripled in many countries. Export restrictions followed. Store shelves in multiple nations experienced cooking oil shortages for the first time in decades. People were limited to 1 or 2 bottles per purchase. Some stores ran completely out. Soybean and palm oil production faces its own challenges from climate issues and rising production costs. The price of cooking oil has already increased dramatically, and experts warn that further increases are coming. Right now, you can still walk into most stores and buy cooking oil without limits. That window will not stay open forever. When panic buying starts, cooking oil disappears within hours because everyone suddenly remembers they need it. Store multiple gallons of different oil types in a cool, dark place. Rotate your stock by using older bottles first and replacing them with fresh ones. Your stockpile of rice and beans is incomplete and potentially dangerous without adequate cooking oil. Go buy it now before the next shortage makes it impossible to find. Number 3. Salt. Salt seems so simple, so cheap, so common that most people never think about stockpiling it. That is a catastrophic mistake. Salt is the most underestimated survival resource in human history, and when you understand why, you will realize it should be one of the first things you stockpile in massive quantities. Salt never expires, ever. It has an unlimited shelf life because it is a mineral, not a food that can rot or spoil. The salt sitting in your cupboard today will be exactly the same in 100 years. Ancient civilizations built their wealth on salt. Roman soldiers were paid in salt, which is where the word salary comes from. Wars were fought over salt mines. Trade routes existed solely to move salt across continents. Why? Because human beings cannot survive without sodium. Your body needs salt to regulate fluid balance, transmit nerve signals, contract muscles, and maintain blood pressure. Without adequate salt, you will experience weakness, confusion, seizures, and eventually death. Most survival foods contain almost no sodium. Rice has virtually no salt. Beans have minimal salt. If you are eating these foods daily without adding salt, you are slowly poisoning yourself through sodium depletion. But salt's survival value goes far beyond keeping you alive. Salt is the original food preservation technology. Before refrigeration existed, salt preserved meat, fish, and vegetables indefinitely through curing, pickling, and fermenting. You can take fresh food that would spoil in days and make it last for years using nothing but salt. This knowledge becomes priceless when electricity fails or refrigeration becomes unavailable. Salt also solves a psychological crisis that destroys people during long-term food shortages. Eating plain rice and beans every single day breaks people mentally. Food fatigue sets in, depression follows. But add salt, and suddenly bland survival food becomes palatable. It tastes like real food again. This might sound trivial, but maintaining morale during crisis is absolutely critical for survival. Right now, salt costs almost nothing. A 25-pound bag of salt costs less than $15 in most places. But during shortages, salt becomes incredibly valuable. Transportation disruptions affect salt availability because it is heavy and requires specific infrastructure to produce and move. Recent supply chain problems have already caused temporary salt shortages in various regions. When panic buying starts, salt disappears, just like everything else. Stock multiple types of salt for different purposes. Iodized table salt provides essential iodine your thyroid needs. Sea salt contains beneficial trace minerals. Pickling salt is pure sodium chloride, without additives, perfect for food preservation. You should have at least 25 to 50 pounds of salt stored for a family. It takes up minimal space, costs almost nothing, and could become the most valuable barter item you own when the economy truly collapses. Salt is so cheap today that there is zero excuse not to buy it in bulk immediately. Number 4. Canned vegetables. You can survive on rice and beans for months. But without vegetables, your body will start breaking down. Malnutrition is not just about calories. It is about vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that grains and legumes simply cannot provide. This is where canned vegetables become your nutrition insurance policy against long-term food shortages. When crisis hits, fresh produce is always the first thing to vanish. Lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, and fruits require constant refrigeration, spoil within days, and depend on functioning supply chains. During the pandemic lockdowns, fresh produce sections were stripped bare while canned goods lasted longer. But even canned goods eventually ran out because people finally understood their value. Canned vegetables have a shelf life of 2 to 5 years, and often remain safe to eat for many years beyond the printed date if stored properly. They retain most of their nutritional value through the canning process. Tomatoes provide vitamin C and lycopene. Green beans deliver fiber, and vitamin K corn adds calories and comfort. Carrots supply vitamin A for vision and immune function. These are not luxury items. These are medical necessities disguised as food. Without proper nutrition, your immune system fails, wounds do not heal, energy disappears, and depression sets in. History shows us that scurvy, beriberi, and pellagra killed people during food crises not because of starvation, but because of missing nutrients. Canned vegetables prevent these diseases. Right now, aluminum shortages are limiting can production. Manufacturing plants are running behind. Transportation costs are making canned goods more expensive every quarter. Major food companies have already reduced the variety of canned products they offer because they cannot keep up with demand and costs. During the last major panic buying wave, stores limited how many cans each customer could purchase. Some items were completely unavailable for weeks. Canned vegetables also provide something equally important: psychological comfort. When you are eating plain rice and beans day after day, a can of familiar green beans or corn brings normality back to your table. It reminds you of better times and keeps morale from collapsing. Build a stockpile of at least 3 to 6 months' worth of canned vegetables right now. Focus on variety so you do not develop food fatigue. Buy what your family actually eats. Do not wait for prices to climb higher or for shortages to begin. Act today while stores are still stocked. Number 5. Rice is not just another food on your shelf. It is the single most important survival food that has kept more human beings alive through crisis than any other crop in history. When famine struck China, when wars destroyed Europe, when economic collapse hit entire nations, rice was there. And when shortages come to your neighborhood, rice will be the difference between your family eating or going hungry. Here's why rice matters more than almost anything else you can stockpile. A 50-pound bag of white rice contains over 80,000 calories. That is enough to feed one adult for more than 40 days. It costs less than $30 in most places right now, making it the most affordable calorie source available. But the real power of rice is not just in feeding you today. When stored properly in mylar bags with oxygen absorbers inside food-grade buckets, white rice lasts 30 years or more without losing nutritional value. You can buy it today, and your children can eat it decades from now. Rice is incredibly versatile. You can eat it plain, mix it with beans for complete protein, add it to soups, make it sweet or savory, and it works with literally any other food you have. During World War II, rice kept entire populations alive when supply lines collapsed. During the Great Depression, families survived on rice and beans for months at a time. Right now, major rice-producing nations like India and China are limiting exports because they see what is coming. Climate disasters are destroying rice fields across Asia. Prices are already climbing. The rice you can buy easily today might be rationed or unavailable next year. Calculate how much rice your family needs for 6 months and double that number. Go to the store this week and start buying. Do not wait. Do not assume rice will always be there, because history proves it will not. These 5 foods, rice, beans, canned vegetables, cooking oil, and salt, are not random suggestions. They are the proven foundations of human survival through every major crisis in recorded history. Together they provide complete nutrition, endless versatility, and decades of storage life. Right now, today, these items are affordable and available in nearly every store, but economic collapse does not announce itself with warnings. Supply chains do not send you letters before they break. Shortages do not wait for you to be ready. The families who survive the coming crisis will be the ones who acted while everyone else hesitated. Hope is not a strategy. Luck is not a plan. Preparation is the only thing that matters when the system fails. Start this week. Buy 1 bag of rice. Add beans next trip. Build your stockpile gradually, but consistently. Your future depends on the actions you take right now, not on the intentions you have for tomorrow. Take control of your family's future. Start preparing today. Because when shortages hit your community, it will already be too late.